In the small Arctic city of Hammerfest, Norway, you may have to get into a boat to see the town's most iconic resident, Hvaldimir the Beluga. The gentle giant is not from Norway. The townspeople believe he once worked as a Russian spy whale and then fled.
I always say it sounds like something that like a comic book artist ran out of ideas or something in the 50s and created this. He was trained to do military spy work. You can send a whale a lot further and a lot longer and a lot deeper than you can a human, first of all. And second of all, that whale can go undetected.
Hvaldimir likely had cameras strapped to him. He boldly left his old life behind, showing up on the coast, alone and in need of help.
He started pulling at fishermen's boats and buoys and equipment and getting their attention. One of the fishermen in Norway really realized something's wrong with this picture. There's a whale wearing a harness. He got in the water himself and was able to undo the harness and take Hvaldimir out of the harness, which I think is really important, an important thing to have happen for Hvaldimir, because I don't think he probably could have lived his whole life in that too comfortably.
Once freed, Hvaldimir bonded with the townspeople. The community came together to take care of him, raising money to feed him fish and keeping an eye on him to make sure he was safe. But even with his human friends, Hvaldimir lives a lonely life as the only beluga in the area. So filmmaker Regina Crosby is leading the charge to help find a more sustainable situation for him.
It's an ongoing situation. He is free, but he is incredibly vulnerable, and so it's become much more than a film for me. I created a nonprofit for him called onewhale.org, and that organization's only objective in life is to protect him, help him survive, and hopefully give him a chance at a normal whale life.
Hvaldimir has already shown improvements since coming to Norway.
It was believed that he would never eat again on his own, and even the people who'd come from the captivity world that were feeding him were shocked to learn that he swam off, and they were afraid that he was going to starve. And he has taught himself or relearned his behavior to eat on his own.
Right now, the beluga lives at salmon farms around Hammerfest, but it's not the safest or most natural place for him to live.
Basically, he only knows, for the most part, life with humans. So it seems natural to him. He's so sweet, and I love that he's not alone, because he makes it very clear he doesn't want to be alone. Norway is vast. There's plenty of space if he wants to be alone. He just doesn't show any interest. So what he is interested in is humans, and the ones that are the most reliable are those that work on the sea every day, and that's the salmon farmers. So he's figured it out how to cope with the situation the best that he can. He thinks he's helping them out. He's there working on time, keeps a good schedule.
Still, threats exist out in the ocean, and since Hvaldimir isn't used to living in the vast sea, Regina's plan is to make a 500-acre reserve right in Norway for him to live in.
My dream is that we build the reserve, have this beautiful open space where he can be free, but also not have the threats of propellers, and there's no way for tourists to just have free game at him. And then that we have more belugas come into the reserve, and that he teams up and makes a little pod.
Once Hvaldimir learns how to live in the reserve, he'll hopefully be ready to transition into the ocean. No longer just one whale, but one of many.
All of the researchers and whale experts I've spoken with, they agree that the more whales, the better. So a pair of whales who are released to the wild, it's actually a greater success rate than if it was just one whale released to the wild.
He'll have to leave behind the human friends who took care of him all these years, but with him, he'll take their love and lessons, and he'll finally, truly be free.